Hey there, welcome back to AutoTextDriver Sales Staff Training. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the different types of leads and how to handle those leads, how to answer them, the options and functionality within them, and how to file and search, as well as adding a new customer. So when we're logged into the desktop application, we're going to be working mainly in the Customers tab. So inside of the Customers tab, we're going to see the different types of leads that we're working with. Here we can see that we've got a chat lead, which uses this icon, and we also have a text lead. So we can see the text lead is a new lead that hasn't been answered yet, which is reflected with the red number 1, and we can also see that up top here with the blue number 1 by the Customers button. So we're going to go into the chat lead and take a look at the options within the chat lead. So when we come into the chat lead, we can see that in this particular case, this chat is closed. So chat is a live communication. So when someone comes to your website and they choose to initiate a chat, it is live, and once they close their window, the chat will be closed and you can no longer communicate with them. So in this case, we can see that the chat is closed, but we can also see what the other options are inside of this chat lead. So we can set appointments for the customer. We can sync this information with the CRM manually. This does take place automatically in the background, but for some reason, if you wanted to force it to the CRM immediately, you can use the Sync with CRM button. The activity log reflects the timestamp for everything that's gone on with this particular lead. Who received it first, what time they received it, if it was forwarded, when it was read. So it's very valuable to be able to look at the history of what happened with that lead. We can also edit the profile of the particular customer that we're chatting with. So when we go into edit profile, we can add their phone number, their email address, their name, their preferred method of communication, and the details for the particular vehicle that they might be interested in. We also have the option to forward this particular lead if we'd like. So maybe you received the lead in error, or you'd like to forward it on to someone else who could better handle it. You have the option to click on forward, and it brings up everybody in your store that you can forward it to. So it might be somebody in a different department or another sales guy, and then you just click on them. We'll forward it back to myself. Click on forward, and we'll see what happens here. We should see it come back, and it gives us the notification as if it's a new lead. So we'll click on it and just go back in, and we'll finish up here with spam if it's somebody you want to block. If it is in fact spam or just somebody that keeps bugging you for some reason and you don't want to communicate with them, you can click on spam. You can always remove them from spam. You can see up here the spam and blocked folder. That's where they'll go. You can always remove them from there if you happen to mark someone as spam by mistake. Likewise with the archive button, once you've finished communicating with a customer, you can archive them. In that case, they will go into the archived tab. Just a good way to keep this active tab clean. So you keep your current communications in here, and when you're finished with them, you archive them, and they will be moved to the archive folder. And you also have the option of looking at all messages. We can click on there, and that will give us every single message, active, archived, spammed, and blocked, the whole thing. Now, we're going to go back to the active customers, and we're going to take a look at the text lead. Click on the text lead. Very similar to the chat lead. We don't see an option here or a notification that shows us that the chat was closed because it's a text communication, so it is always open. Same thing again, we can set appointments, we can sync manually with the CRM, the activity log, edit profile, forward, spam, and archive. So the same options as you have within the chat. We'll notice down at the bottom here, we didn't see this in the chat, but it is the same on the chat side where you actually do your typing in this bar at the bottom, and you have the option to upload a picture. If there's a picture of a vehicle that you'd like to send to your customer, you can do that through both text and chat. So something very important to keep in mind, these tabs are identical on the mobile app. So once you've come in and played around with the desktop application and you understand how it works on this side, the tabs are identical on the mobile app. So there's no learning curve or relearning when you use the mobile application. It follows the exact same layout as this desktop application. The Add Customer button over here, if you'd like to add somebody to the system that hasn't necessarily reached out to you, but you have their contact info and you'd like to reach out to them, you can simply click on Add and put in all their appropriate information, save, and now they are a new contact that you can reach out to. The final thing that we'll look at is the search options. If you'd like to go back in to search for a particular lead, you've got the search bar here where you can search by any relevant piece of information, including their email, name, phone number, make or model. So even if you can't remember who the person was, but you know they were looking for an F-150, you could type that in and hit the search button, and it's going to pull up everyone that we mentioned an F-150 in. Right now we're searching in all. We can drop that down and search in just the chat leads, the text leads, text or SMS leads, or the iLeads, which you may or may not have. That's coming in the very near future. And then of course we have the, if you want to search by date, first name or last name. So very straightforward, very simple to use. If you have any questions, you can always give us a call at 1-800-928-0363 or email us at support@autotextdriver.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.